Good evening and welcome to the July 15th, 2020 Smithtown Planning Board meeting. Per Executive Order 202.28 by the Governor of the State of New York, all levels of government must continue to function as normal or as close to normal as possible. In an effort to limit physical public contact due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the town of Smithtown is imposing social distancing requirements. The applicants and members of the public will not be present in the boardroom. However, this meeting will be streamed live on the Town of Smithtown website. The following procedures will be implemented for this evening's meeting. For each new application, Mr. Collado will read the Planning Department's report and recommendation into the record. After discussion by the board will recess each new application to the August 12, 2020 meeting. Following today's meeting, there will be a public comment period, at which time all interested parties may mail comments to the Smithtown Planning Department, P.O. Box 575, Smithtown, New York 11787, or email comments to smithtownplanning@smithtownny, that is, .gov. The comment period will close at 4 p.m. on August 12, 2020. The board may render a decision on each new case at the August 12, 2020 meeting. If any members of the public have questions, please contact the Smithtown Planning Department at 631-360-7540. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay.
Good evening, members of the Planning Board. The Planning Department would like to recommend the following items be recessed because the applications are not ready to be heard at this time. Under final subdivisions, number 1, 1184 Skunks Hollow in St. James, and number 2, number 1180 Old Dock Land Division in Kings Park.
Any questions from the board on these recess matters? Okay. I move that we recess items 1 and 2 as read.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? So recessed. And now we'll move on to the hearings to be closed. Mr. Collado?
So the first one's item 3, number 1146, map of Foxwood Estates in Smithtown. It's an extension of final approval.
Okay. In the matter of number 1146, map of Foxwood Estates, I move that we close the hearing. Second?
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? The hearing is closed. And in the matter of number 1146, map of Foxwood Estates, I move that we adopt the resolution as read in accordance with the recommendation of the Planning Department. Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Motion adopted.
The next item is a request for an extension of final approval for number 1173 Plat and White Plat in Smithtown.
In the matter of number 1173, map of Plat and White Plat, I move that we close the hearing.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? The hearing is closed. And in the matter of number 1173, map of Plat and White Plat, I move that we adopt the resolution as read in accordance with the recommendation of the Planning Department.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Motion adopted.
The next item is a request for an extension of final approval for number 1183 map of Winters Estates.
In the matter of number 1183, map of Winters Estates at St. James, I move that we close the hearing.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? The hearing is closed. In the matter of number 1183, map of Winters Estates, I move that we adopt the resolution as read in accordance with the recommendation of the Planning Department.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Motion adopted.
The next item is a final subdivision application for number 1179 map of Walia Plat in St. James. We did not receive any comments from the public.
Thank you. In the matter of number 1179, map of Walia Plat, I move that we close the hearing.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? The hearing is closed. And on the subdivision final layout, in the matter of number 1179, map of Walia Plat, I move that we adopt the resolution as read in accordance with the recommendation of the Planning Department.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Motion adopted. And on the performance bond, in the matter of number 1179, map of Walia Plat, I move that we approve the performance bond estimate as recommended by the Planning Department.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Motion adopted.
The next item is number 1186, Wade subdivision. That's a final subdivision. And again, we did not receive any comments from the public.
Thank you. The board doesn't have any questions, correct? Okay. In the matter of number 1186, map of Wade subdivision, I move that we close the public hearing.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? The hearing is closed. And on the secra, in the matter of number 1186, map of Wade subdivision, I move that we adopt the secra negative declaration in accordance with the recommendation of the Planning Department.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? None? Motion adopted. And on the final plat variance, in the matter of number 1186, map of Wade subdivision, I move that we approve the variance as listed in the table of modifications in accordance with the recommendation of the Planning Department.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? None? Motion adopted. And on the final plat approval, in the matter of number 1186, map of Wade subdivision, I move that we adopt the resolution as read in accordance with the recommendation of the Planning Department.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Motion adopted. And on the performance bond estimate, in the matter of number 1186, map of Wade subdivision, I move that we approve the performance bond estimate as recommended by the Planning Department.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? So approved and adopted.
The next item is a new hearing. It's a request for an extension of final approval for number 1177, map of South Avenue Land Division.
Okay. And,
Before I do it, let me just submit the affidavit.
That's good.
The applicant requests an extension of conditional final approval for the subdivision number 1177, map of South Avenue Land Division. The subdivision number 1177, map of South Avenue Land Division, received conditional final approval from the planning board on July 17th, 2019. Approval of the subdivision expires on July 11th, 2020. The applicant submitted the request for a second extension on July 1st, 2020. The planning department has no objection to the request and recommends an extension period of 180 days. The planning department offers the following resolution for the board's consideration. Planning board resolution number blank 2020, extension of conditional final approval for number 1177, map of South Avenue Land Division. Whereas the planning board has considered the request of Vincent J. Tramarco to extend the conditional final approval for the subdivision number 1177, map of South Avenue Land Division. Now therefore be it first resolved that the planning board hereby approves a 180-day extension of time to the conditional final approval for subdivision number 1177, map of South Avenue Land Division, to expire on January 7th, 2021.
Thank you. Any questions from the board?
Yes, I have a quick question, Matthew. Why the extension again?
The applicant did not give a specific answer. I'm sure it's reasons to do with filing.
Any more questions? In the matter of number 1177, map of South Avenue Land Division, I move that we recess the hearing to the August 12th, 2020 meeting of the Planning Board.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Motion adopted.
And I can find out for you by next meeting what the exact reason is. The next item is a final subdivision for number 1187, Bassin Estates in St. James. The applicant requests final approval to subdivide a 7.1 acre parcel into 2 single-family lots. The final subdivision, number 1187, map of Bassin Estates, is comprised of 1 tax lot that is roughly rectangular in shape. The property has approximately 370 feet of frontage on Nissaquag River Road and 50 feet of frontage on Tide Mill Road. The site is zoned R43 and is surrounded by R43 zoning and single-family dwellings. The Nissaquag River borders the western portion of the property, approximately 640 feet west of the existing and proposed dwellings. There is an existing dwelling to remain on Lot 1. Both lots meet the minimum lot area and lot frontage requirements of the R43 zoning district. Access to Lot 1 and 2 will be from Nissaquag River Road. The subdivision proposes providing a 10-foot wide easement on Lot 1 in order to allow Lot 2 access to the river. The applicant is proposing a shared driveway for both lots using the existing curb cut on Lot 1. This portion of Nissaquag River Road has steep slopes along the right-of-way, therefore eliminating a new curb cut helps preserve these slopes. For that reason, the planning department supports the shared driveway. The planning department recommends no access to the subdivision from Tide Mill Road. This will help protect and prevent the alteration of steep slopes on Lot 1. The site contains wetlands along the river and roughly 1 acre of steep slopes. That's slopes in excess of 15% changing grade. The slopes range from moderate to steep from the front of the property to the rear of the property. Any land within 100 feet of wetlands is also considered environmentally sensitive, and this property has approximately 0.9 acres of property within 100 feet of wetlands. The total developable area on the property, excluding any environmentally sensitive land, is approximately 3.4 acres. This subdivision is located in the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation's Wild, Scenic, and Recreational River Corridor and Tidal Wetlands area. The applicant has been issued permits for this subdivision from the New York State DEC. This subdivision is also located in the town of Smithtown's local water revitalization program. The town board reviewed the proposed actions and policies with the local waterfront revitalization program and issued a conditional coastal consistency determination that the subdivision was consistent with the town's local waterfront revitalization program. That's case 2018-21. The conditions pertain to obtaining health department approval for innovative and alternative on-site wastewater treatment systems for both lots, limiting gross floor area to section 322-19D of the zoning ordinance, submitting architectural plans and samples of exterior building materials to the planning department, and requiring all stormwater generation to be retained on site. Pursuant to section 248-31B of the subdivision regulations, this subdivision is required to be clustered because it will impact the following: A, slopes in excess of 15%, B, surface water resources, C, freshwater wetlands, D, shallow depth of groundwater, E, land within the coastal zone, and F, historic resources listed in the historic sites inventory of the town of Smithtown. That's the Ryder Hall House. The planning department recommends this subdivision be clustered by placing a conservation easement on all land west of the 100-foot setback line, setback from the tidal wetland boundary. This will help preserve approximately 2.65 acres of environmentally sensitive land. Additionally, the planning department recommends the proposed house on Lot 2 be positioned to the front of the property and reduce the front yard setback to 50 feet. This will help preserve steep slopes on the property. In addition to the front yard variance on Lot 2, the applicant is also requesting a side yard variance from 24 feet to 19 feet. The planning department has no objection to the request because the request is not substantial and the impact of this variance is on the existing house within the subdivision. Nissaquag River Road and Tide Mill Road have been identified by the planning department as streets that do not need sidewalks due to the topography on Nissaquag River Road and low traffic volume on Tide Mill Road. The planning department recommends the planning board waive the requirement of sidewalks within the subdivision. Section 248-24 of the subdivision regulation states that each subdivision is required to show park area of at least 2 acres per 100 buildings. However, the Court of Appeals has ruled that the town cannot require the reservation of park area unless the planning board determines on a case-by-case basis that need for parkland exists with respect to the individual subdivision. Based on the community facility study in the town's comprehensive plan, there is a need for parkland in the neighborhood in which this subdivision is situated. This subdivision share of meeting the need is approximately 0.006 acres. In cases where the planning board determines that a suitable park cannot be located or is otherwise not practical, the subdivider is required to pay a cash equivalent prior to filing the map. Given the location and small size of the subdivision, a dedication for park space would not be practical. Therefore, the planning department recommends that the board condition final plat approval upon submission of a park fee of $2,190, the approximate value of 0.006 acres in R43 zoning district. Pursuant to Section 239N of General Municipal Law, this subdivision was referred to the Suffolk County Planning Commission for review. The Suffolk County Planning Commission considers this application to be a matter for local determination. A decision of local determination should not be construed as either an approval or disapproval. The Engineering and Traffic Safety Department have found the application acceptable. The Highway Department has found the application acceptable, subject to the following comment. 1, concrete curbs shall be required along the frontage of the property as directed by the Highway Department. The Department of Environment and Waterways has reviewed the tree preservation and land clearing plan and has found it acceptable. They recommend no future subdivision of either parcels, as well as conditions related to construction activities, land clearing, and site preparation work. Additional information. 1, letters assuring availability of utility service have been received from the Suffolk County Water Authority and PSCG Long Island. 2, the Smithtown Central School District has acknowledged the subdivision. 3, the amount of the inspection fee is estimated at $1,616. 4, the amount of the park fee is $2,190. 5, the amount of the performance bond is estimated at $20,200. 6, the amount of the cash deposit is $1,000. And 7, the amount of the performance bond will be posted with the town board is $19,200. The recommendation. The Department of Environment and Waterways offers the following resolution for the board's consideration. Planning Board Resolution Number blank 2020, recommended secret declaration for number 1187 map of Bassin Estates. Whereas the Planning Board has considered the secret recommendation from the Department of Environment and Waterways and indicated that any potential adverse environmental impact associated with said project does not rise to the level of significance which would require the preparation of an environmental impact statement. Now therefore be it first resolved that the Planning Board hereby declares itself lead agency on this matter and finds that this matter is subject to the State Environmental Quality Review Act and is classified as unlisted action pursuant to SECRA. Second, resolved that the Planning Board hereby issues a SECRA negative declaration. A determination of non-significance in EIS is not necessary in the matter of the application of subdivision approval by Mitchell Bassin for number 1187. Map of Bassin Estates for the following reasons. A, the proposal does not appear to significantly threaten any unique or highly valuable environmental or cultural resources as identified in or regulated by the Environmental Conservation Law of the State of New York or Smithtown Town Code. B, the proposed project does not involve the disturbance of any lands that contain poor soil, properties, high groundwater, or unmanageable slopes. C, the small size and nature of the proposal mitigate against adverse impact upon the environment. D, the proposal appears to be consistent with the planned use of the parcel and compatible with neighboring land uses. E, the project as proposed on the tree preservation and land clearing plan prepared by Juan Carlos Vargas Jr., registered landscape architect and dated May 7th, 2020, provides for the retention of a significant amount of existing trees and natural vegetation upon development of the subject parcel. Such preservation shall be ensured by the placement of snow fencing or orange mesh construction fencing along all limits of clearing and around any individual trees to be preserved within clearing areas. This shall be done to the satisfaction of the Environmental Protection Director, and said fencing shall be maintained in place by the applicant until the completion of all land clearing and grading activities at the subject parcel. F, although this project is located within the town's local waterfront revitalization program boundary, an adverse impact upon this resource is not anticipated as the project has been reviewed for consistency with the program and a notice of coastal consistency was issued on August 14th, 2019. G, although the project is located within the Nisqually River Wild Scenic and Recreational Program corridor, an adverse impact upon this resource is not anticipated as the project has been reviewed by the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation and a permit has been issued by said agency on June 18th, 2018. The Planning Department offers the following resolutions for the board's consideration. It's Planning Board Resolution number blank 2020, final plat variance for number 1187, map of Bassin Estates. Whereas the Planning Board has considered the request of Mitchell Bassin for the following variances within the subdivision number 1187, map of Bassin Estates pursuant to section 322-30.4 of the Building Zone Ordinance of the Code of the Town of Smithtown. Now therefore be it first resolved that the Planning Board hereby grants variances from the Building Zone Ordinance of the Code of the Town of Smithtown within the subdivision number 1187, map of Bassin Estates as follows. And you can see Table 1 modification of dimensional regulations for the front yard and side yard on Lot 2. This table shall be shown on the final map to be filed in the office of the Suffolk County Clerk. A fee of $1,000 is required for these variances. Planning Board Resolution number blank 2020, subdivision final plat approval for number 1187, map of Bassin Estates. Whereas the Planning Board has considered the request of Mitchell Bassin to subdivide 7.1 acres into 2 lots, now therefore be it first resolved that the final plat number 1187, map of Bassin Estates is hereby approved, subject to the following conditions. A, posting of a performance bond in form and amount specified by a separate resolution of the Planning Board and for a term of 2 years. B, posting of a general liability insurance policy to run concurrently with the term of the performance bond and in accordance with other provisions of Section 248 of the Code of the Town of Smithtown subdivision regulations. C, payment of an inspection fee and cash deposit as established by separate resolution of the Planning Board. D, all necessary dedication papers shall be submitted by the applicant to the Planning Department in complete and accurate form as one package, including but not limited to the performance bond, liability insurance policy, title report, and all required fees. E, the final plat shall include all information required by Section 248.15 and Section 248.16 of the Town Subdivision Regulations, the conditions of approval, and the office of the Suffolk County Clerk. A check print of the final plat shall be submitted to the Planning Department for review before the Mylars are prepared. F, payment of a park fee of $2,190. G, final approval of the drainage and regrading plans to the satisfaction of the town engineer. H, a conservation easement shall be placed on all land west of the 100-foot setback line from the tidal wetland boundary. Structures, removal, vegetation, and alteration of land shall be prohibited in this conservation easement. This easement shall be placed on the filed map. I, altering slopes in excess of 15% and building a structure within 10 feet of slopes 25% or greater requires a variance from the Board of Zoning Appeals. Approval of this subdivision is not an approval or endorsement of future variances to the Board of Zoning Appeals. J, concrete curbs shall be required along the frontage of the property as directed by the Highway Department. K, access to the subdivision shall be from Nisqually River Road only. L, the proposed dwelling on Lot 2 shall be located on the property as depicted on the final map dated February 3rd, 2020. M, there shall be no future subdivision of either parcels created by the subdivision. And N, prior to the commencement of construction activities at the subject parcel, including land clearing or other site preparation work, the applicant shall abide by the following conditions. 1, all limits of clearing and any individual trees to be preserved within the clearing areas must be marked with snow fencing or orange mesh construction fencing. Said fencing shall be located no closer to the trunk of any tree to be preserved than the drip line of said tree. This area to be preserved shall be as indicated in the tree preservation and land clearing plan prepared by Juan Carlos Vargas Jr., registered landscape architect, dated May 7th, 2020. 2, upon completion of the installation of fencing as required above, the applicant shall provide written notice to the Department of Environment and Waterways requesting inspection of the limits of clearing as marked in the field by cited fencing. 3, the applicant shall not commence construction activities, including land clearing or other site preparation work, until the marked limits of clearing are approved in writing by the Environmental Protection Director. And 4, the snow fencing or orange mesh construction fencing used to delineate the limits of clearing shall be maintained in place by the applicant until completion of all land clearing and grading activities at the subject parcel. Planning Board Resolution number blank 2020, authorization to sign performance bond estimate for number 1187, map of Bassin Estates. Whereas the Town Departments of Engineering, Traffic Safety, Highway, and Planning have prepared a performance bond estimate to cover the cost of all required public improvements, now therefore be it first resolved that the Chairman of the Planning Board is authorized to sign the performance bond estimate for number 1187, map of Bassin Estates, in the amount of $20,200, and establish an inspection fee of $1,616 and a cash deposit of $1,000. Therefore, the amount of the performance bond to be posted with the town shall be $19,200.
Thank you,
And
Matt.
I do have the affidavit of posting. And I spoke with John Baker, who represents Mitchell Bassin, earlier this week, and they both read the recommendation and they are okay with it.
Thank you, Matt.
Who's Mr. Baker?
John Baker is working with Mitchell Bassin on this subdivision.
Any questions from the board? None?
The second dwelling is going to have its own sewer,
Yeah, it's these new.
septic tank?
Yeah, it's a new.
It's going to have its own.
New technology. Yeah, each house has its own.
Anything else? In the matter of number 1187, map of Bassin Estates, I move that we recess the hearing to the August 12th, 2020 meeting of the planning board.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None? Motion adopted. Okay, now we just have to adopt the minutes. Is there a motion? Anybody want to make a motion to? I'll do it. Adopt the motion to adopt the minutes of the March 4th, 2020, and the June 24th, 2020 meetings of the planning board.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None? Motion adopted. And the motion to adjourn. Motion.
Second.
Okay, so all those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Good job.